Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, what happens at the end of it all? This question has echoed through human history, across every culture and every faith. It's a question that sits deep within us. In the Christian Bible, the very last book tries to give us an answer. It's called the Book of Revelation. It's a strange and powerful book, filled with visions that have captivated and confused people for nearly 2,000 years. It's not a simple history book. It's not a list of rules. It is a vision, a revelation given to a man named John while he was exiled on the Greek island of Patmos. It is considered the final word, the closing chapter in a long and complex story. Early Christian leaders believed it was inspired, a message directly from God. They saw it as a book of ultimate truth, revealing how everything would conclude. It wasn't just about doom and gloom. It was seen as a promise that, in the end, good would triumph over evil. Now, if you've ever tried to read the Book of Revelation, you know it's not a simple story. It doesn't read like a newspaper article. It reads like a dream, or perhaps a nightmare. It's filled with bizarre and vivid imagery. We see a lamb with 7 horns and 7 eyes, a dragon with 7 heads, beasts rising from the sea and the earth, angels pouring out bowls of wrath upon the world. These are not literal descriptions. They are symbols. Each image is a piece of a puzzle, a code that points to a deeper meaning. This symbolic language is one of the main reasons the book is so mysterious and often misunderstood. This style of writing is called apocalyptic literature. It was a popular form of writing in ancient Jewish and Christian cultures during times of great crisis. When you couldn't speak out directly against a powerful oppressor, like the Roman Empire, you used symbols. This coded language allowed the author to convey a powerful message of resistance and hope without getting arrested. It was a secret language for the initiated. Within this mysterious vision, Revelation describes a series of events, signs that are said to precede the final days. Among the most famous of these are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. They are unleashed when a scroll with 7 seals is opened. The first horseman, on a white horse, is often interpreted as conquest or a false messiah. He is followed by a rider on a red horse who takes peace from the earth, representing war. Then comes a rider on a black horse, carrying scales, symbolizing famine and economic hardship. And finally, the 4th rider appears on a pale horse. His name is Death, and he brings plague and destruction with him. These 4 figures represent the kinds of suffering that have plagued humanity for all time. After the horsemen, the visions grow even more intense. We are introduced to a character known simply as the Beast. This figure rises from the sea, a terrifying composite of a leopard, a bear, and a lion, with 10 horns and 7 heads. This beast is given great authority and is worshipped by the people of the earth. Many interpret the beast as a symbol of a powerful and corrupt worldly kingdom, or perhaps a single charismatic but evil world leader who will demand total allegiance. He is accompanied by another beast, one who forces everyone to receive a mark, the famous mark of the beast, 666, on their right hand or forehead, without which no one can buy or sell. These signs of chaos and oppression build toward a final epic confrontation, a great battle. In the popular imagination, this is known as Armageddon. It represents the ultimate clash between the forces of good, led by a figure on a white horse identified as the Word of God, and the forces of evil, led by the beast and his allies. It's the climax of all history. When we hear about horsemen, beasts, and final battles, it's easy to feel a sense of fear. And for many, that is the primary message they take from Revelation. The descriptions of plagues, wars, and suffering are terrifying. They paint a picture of a world spiraling out of control, a world where evil seems to have the upper hand. These prophecies serve as a powerful warning. They warn against corruption, against idolatry, against choosing worldly power over divine truth. They are a wake-up call, urging people to consider their choices and the path the world is on. But fear is only one side of the coin. For the book's original audience, and for many believers today, Revelation is not ultimately about fear. It is about hope. The visions of chaos and destruction are always followed by visions of divine justice and redemption. The core message is that even in the darkest of times, God is still in control. The terrifying reign of the beast is temporary. The suffering is not endless. The book promises that evil will be judged and defeated once and for all. It ends not with Armageddon, but with what comes after, a vision of a new heaven and a new earth. A perfect city, the New Jerusalem, descends from heaven. In this new creation, there is no more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, and no more pain. All the old things have passed away. So is Revelation a book of fear or a book of hope? It seems it is both. The fear is a warning. It's the consequence of a world that has turned its back on what is good and just. But the hope is the final word. It's a hope that has sustained people through centuries of turmoil. So, how are we supposed to understand these ancient prophecies today, in 2025? The truth is, there is no single, universally accepted way to interpret the book of Revelation. People read these same words and come to vastly different conclusions. This has been true for centuries. Some people read the book as a literal blueprint for the future. They look at current events, wars in the Middle East, new technologies, political leaders, and try to match them with the prophecies of the beast, Armageddon, and the end times. For them, the book is a timeline of events that are unfolding before our very eyes. Another group of people sees the book in a more symbolic light. They don't believe it's a literal prediction of specific future events. Instead, they see it as a timeless story about the ongoing struggle between good and evil. The beast isn't a specific person, but a symbol for any corrupt human system, be it a political empire, a greedy corporation, or even an oppressive ideology. Then there are those who read it primarily as a historical document. They focus on what it meant to its original audience, the first-century Christians living under Roman rule. For them, the beast was the Roman Empire, and the emperor who demanded to be worshipped as a god. The prophecies were a coded message of hope and encouragement specifically for them. Ultimately, the enduring power of Revelation may lie in the profound human questions it asks. It forces us to confront our deepest fears about the end of the world and our deepest hopes for a better one. Why are we so drawn to these stories of endings and new beginnings? Perhaps it's because we see the brokenness in our world and we long for justice and renewal. Whether we read it as literal prophecy, timeless allegory, or ancient history, the book of Revelation holds up a mirror. It asks us to look at our world and at ourselves and to ask, what side are we on? And what kind of future are we building?